Welcome to the latest edition of New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary, direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories we're working on this week. Well, baseball season's getting underway, and as the great baseball philosopher Yogi Berra is supposed to have said, it's deja vu all over again in New Haven. For instance, if there's a fire somewhere that we got to put out, you can better than not, it might be a poverty property owned by the slumlord Dr. Shu. There have been 5 fires at poverty properties he owns in the city in the last 2 years. The fire department just released a report about the most recent fire. They're not sure what caused it. They said it was either a cigarette carelessly tossed on a mattress in the basement or faulty wiring that ignited the mattress. Either way, 6 more people lost their home. Tom Breen, our reporter and editor at The Independent, interviewed one of them. They're homeless for the second time from a Dr. Shu property that burned. LCI, our agency in city government that goes after slumlords, is doing a good job. They're picking up their game. But if Dr. Shu's still doing business, he's already had one person die in one of his buildings from a fire. The longer he's in business, the longer there's work to do. Speaking of work to do, there's work to sue the federal government. Deja vu all over again. New Haven City Hall, for the second time now, has sued the Trump administration to try up free money already approved by Congress. This time it's $30 million the federal government approved for climate improvements like heat pumps in new places we're building and in people's homes. I know it's a different kind of pump. We want geothermal energy. Unlike the cowards at Yale University and Columbia, places that have the money and the power to fight back, the city of New Haven has decided we're not going to hide and just cower and hope the fascists just don't notice us as they try to destroy our country. It's the right thing to do to fight back these lawsuits. We might lose a battle here and there, but only by fighting back can we win to return to a more just society. Well, it won't be deja vu all over again for Wexler Grass students when they put on their backpacks and go to school next school year, because they're instead going to be going to a new school, Lincoln Bassett. Those 2 schools are merging to be one pre-K to 8 school at Lincoln Bassett because enrollment is declining in New Haven. The Board of Ed decided to be deliberative about how to decide which schools to close to deal with the declining enrollment, and this was the first decision. Now the decision is going to be what to do with the buildings left behind. Remember, we spent more than $1.5 billion rebuilding those schools. In the case of Wexler Grant, they're talking about making it an alternative school for middle school. Here's wishing them the best in making smart decisions about what to do with our kids' future. We'll talk about a sad deja vu all over again. Once again, they're light memorial candles for a young person whose life was lost to gun violence in New Haven. In this case, on DeWitt Street in the Hill, it was an 8-year-old. As John Toolman, one of the independent commenters, noted, he'd be alive if there was no gun in the house. Well, in addition to dealing with the gun problem, another part of reducing violence is having warring crews break bread and make peace and mediate rather than continuing to shoot each other in retaliation. There's an agency of street outreach workers in New Haven that does that. Connecticut Violence Intervention and Prevention Program, CTVIP. They just celebrated their 5th anniversary and they're going strong. They enlist people who used to be in the life, who have credibility to go on the street and resolve beefs. They're now working with people as young as 11, not quite 8, but 11, who are caught up in the criminal justice system. Some things do change. It's not always deja vu all over again. 18 years ago, we first brought the concept of street outreach workers to New Haven, and many people, including the police, disagreed with the idea. They didn't want to work with them because they thought you couldn't trust them, and that wasn't the way to reduce violence. Now, not only in New Haven, but nationally, this is accepted as a great idea. The police do work together well with CTVIP in New Haven, and they've grown from 4 to 26 people out there trying to keep the peace, doing God's work. So yes, there are reasons to despair these days as the fascists take over our government, but there's also reason to believe we can have progress, whether it's CTVIP or whether it's AOC and Bernie Sanders bringing larger crowds than Donald Trump ever saw in places like Denver, saying we are going to fight back and we are going to win. Until next time, this is the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. And remember, always pick up and compost your trash while we still can.